This is WFYI News Now. It's September 12th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, last year saw the second highest number of hate crimes reported in the U.S. A new group aimed at encouraging independent candidates in Indiana launches a statewide ad campaign. And the Indiana Youth Institute highlights the rise of obesity in central Indiana youth.
And in Indiana right now, 23% of high schoolers meet that standard. So, less than a quarter of our kids are moving enough.
Those stories coming up. But first, Sean L. Huddleston will step down as president of Martin University at the end of November. Huddleston has led Indiana's only predominantly black institution for 6 years. The school's board of trustees says Huddleston secured, quote, stability and growth, often against odds, end quote. A 2023 audit found that the university faces substantial challenges due to low enrollment. In the coming weeks, the university will announce plans for interim leadership and a national search process. 2024 saw the second highest number of hate crimes reported in the U.S. since the FBI started collecting data. Zach Castle reports on what the new data means for Indiana.
Nationwide, hate crimes are slightly trending down after hitting a record in 2023. The FBI recorded 149 hate crimes in Indiana for 2024. That's a 17% decrease. Last year, about 60% in Indiana were based on race, ethnicity, or ancestry, followed by religion, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Stacey Merkin researches criminal justice at Indiana University South Bend. She says the data is an undercount.
Although it does provide us with these estimates, we always have what's called the dark figure of crime, which is the percentage of crimes that go unreported.
Only a quarter of Indiana's 240 participating law enforcement agencies reported hate crimes last year. I'm Zach Castle.
Hate crimes are federal crimes committed with a bias against a person or group's perceived or actual characteristics. A new group aimed at encouraging independent candidates in Indiana will launch a statewide ad campaign. Independent Indiana's ad is meant to highlight the appeal of nonpartisan leadership. Executive Director Nathan Gotch says the ad features residents of Huntington, a city led by two-term Mayor Richard Strick, who ran as an independent.
Letting people know what it feels like to live in a community that's being led by an independent elected official. And the people that we're featuring in this ad, they're very open and honest about how amazing that it is.
Gotch, a former independent congressional candidate, acknowledges that Indiana's straight-ticket voting system, where people can press one button to vote for members of a party rather than looking at each race, is a challenge. But he says part of Independent Indiana's mission is to let candidates and voters know that running as an independent is a viable option.
I talk to elected officials all across the state, and many of them say to me, I don't have the freedom to vote or to legislate or to govern in the way that I think is best for my constituents because I'm feeling the pressure from the parties.
Gotch says hundreds of independent candidates have run in Indiana over the last 2 election cycles, and more than half won their races. And for our final story today, the Indiana Youth Institute is highlighting the rise of obesity in central Indiana youth. As Ben Thorpe reports, the Institute has compiled data from the Indiana University School of Public Health that shows that obesity has increased by over 6 percentage points over the past decade among children in central Indiana.
The report looked at children between 2 and 19 years of age and found that the greatest percentage increase in obesity was from 2020 to 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tammy Silverman is the CEO of the Indiana Youth Institute. She says that many children do not get the recommended 60 minutes of movement every day.
And in Indiana right now, 23% of high schoolers meet that standard. So, less than a quarter of our kids are moving enough.
The rise in obesity was across every central Indiana county, but Marion, Morgan, and Shelby saw the greatest percentage increases. Silverman says physical activity and access to healthy foods are key to improving obesity rates across the region. I'm Ben Thorpe.
And that's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Monday.